the baseball part one was basically what had happened was the baseball. I was sitting at the bench and everything, minding my own business, and I was watching the baseball game. I'm into baseball, and the kids decided to walk up to me. They started walking up. They decided to walk up to me and started talking to me, and they started talking to me about superheroes and everything else. So, you know, naturally I responded to them and everything, and I was talking to them. So I decided to get up and leave and everything because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want any trouble and everything, because I know damn well if somebody saw me with kids and everything, or at least the parents would, they'd be like, oh, well, how come you're talking to my kids and everything, you know, if you're just sitting here minding your own business? So I decided to get up and leave. I went down the hill and everything, and the kids started to follow me. I told them to go back up the hill and everything because I didn't want them following me. Because I knew the parents would say something. So I sat there and everything. I went back up, you know, to try to explain to the parents what, you know, what her kids were doing and everything. And of course she didn't want to hear it. So I left and everything. And then I sat there and everything. I went to the, you know, I went to the store and everything to get myself something to drink. I.e. soda and everything. And that's when the cops and everything approached me and everything, told me, oh, well, you've been accused and everything of molesting kids and everything. I'm like, but I didn't do anything. Nor did I say anything. So the cops found out that the kids were lying and everything, because the kids eventually told the parents everything that they were that they were lying and stuff and everything. I found out about it once I got to the station and everything, because they called me down to talk to me. Now the kid at the pond, that was sort of my fault. I thought he was 17, because at the time I was looking for YouTube business partners. I didn't know he was only 13. Granted, should I have used better judgment on that? Yes, I should have. I absolutely 100% should have, but I didn't. Not on my part. So, you know, the cops called me up. They said, hey, you know, try to interact with people more your age and stuff and everything. Which, the cop wasn't wrong. You know, he wasn't wrong at all. So I was like, okay, I understand. You know, things like that. You know, and everything else. So that's, you know, that's how everything was. The kid turned out to be 13, and I didn't know about it and everything until the father actually told me. See, what had happened was the kid had told me that he was 17. So, you know, because I guess the father called the cops and everything and stuff and everything, you know, because he was worried about his kid and everything, which naturally so. And I spoke to him and I said, no. I said, what had happened was I thought he was 17 years old and everything, so I decided to ask him to be my YouTube business partner. And that's what happened. And the cop goes, ah, gotcha. I understand. So, oh, okay, I know the one you're talking about now. Yeah, no, the kid did it on his own. The kid did it on his own. So what had happened was I went to a park and everything, and in the next town over for me. And I guess the kid was being mischievous and everything and stuff, you know how some kids are and everything. They like to poke you or whatever, or they like to, you know, or whatever. It's like, hey, I'm not touching you, or whatever, or something like that, or whatever. And I was really, I was literally just sitting on the bench and minding my own business. You know, matter of fact, actually, I was on my cell phone because I was actually going to call, you know, one of my family members and tell him I was on my way home. And he decided to stick his foot in my face and everything, which I was not too pleased about, considering the fact that I was trying to do something and everything. And I told the father about it and everything, and he literally thought that I placed it there and everything. I'm like, no. I said I was trying to call somebody on my phone and everything, but your kid kept on, you know, putting his foot in my face. And he's like, oh, okay, so, you know, I guess somebody else saw it, and the moment they saw that, they called the police and everything. It was like, oh, well, this guy's doing such and such and such and such. So then the police came. I explained to them what happened and everything, and even the father explained it too. The father of the kid, he even explained it too. And he said, no. He goes, my kid was doing it to him. He goes, he was the one putting his foot in his, you know, my kid put his foot in his face and everything. This man was just sitting here trying to, you know, he was just trying to sit here and everything, you know, and just mind his own business. That's literally what that was. And then, you know, after that and everything, you know, the police, you know, they talked to the father, and the father told them everything. And the police said, okay, we got the full story and everything. You know, we're just looking out and everything because we, you know, it's a you know, kid park, which I understood. It's a park for kids. I understand that, you know. But like I say, I literally just sat there and I was like, hey, I'm just sitting here minding my own business. I'm not doing anything wrong. But you do have a. So I'm going to address that right now. Like I said, thank you, Gamer Boy, for allowing me to do this. The first thing is, have I ever had the police called on me? Yes, I have. It was only one time, though. But people don't realize the whole story, so I'm going to explain it now. What had happened was, I went to a park and everything. There was a baseball game going on. And I was watching the baseball game, just minding my own business. You know, just, you know, normal, beautiful sunny day. A couple of kids come over to the table and everything where I'm sitting. Mind you, I'm just paying attention to the game. I'm not, you know, I'm not even looking at them, not even paying attention to them whatsoever. I mean, I'm looking around the area, obviously, you know, but, you know, just minding my own business. They come over, they start to talk to me. And obviously I'm very skittish and everything when it comes to talking, you know, to them because they're kids that I don't know and everything. I started talking to them about superheroes and everything, stuff and everything else and everything, you know, just interacting. I started to get, you know, weary because I had a feeling somebody was going to say something. I mean, let's face it, I'm a 17-year-old kid at that time talking to, you know, kids, you know. So I decided to get up and walk away. And I went down a hill and everything, you know, just to look around and see what was going around. You know, maybe I could find some interesting things down there or something or whatever. The kids decided to follow me on their own. I tell them to go back and everything because I don't want them following me. Because I know the parents would, you know, they would get pissed and everything. and they would sit there and think that I'm trying to do something to them. And I don't want that to happen, obviously. So I tell them to go back. I continue to go down, they continue to follow me. So at that point, I'm like, all right, let me try to explain to the parents what's going on here that they decided to follow me. Obviously, the mother didn't want to listen to it and everything because, let's face it, she automatically thought, well, he's going after my kids and everything, which I'm not, obviously. So I leave, and I figure, okay, let me just go to the store. I'll go get, I'll go get a drink real quick and everything, i.e. a beverage, soda. And I'll just go home and everything, and I'll, eat dinner and stuff and everything, maybe play video games or something. I go to the store, get my drink, come outside. I come outside the store. All of a sudden, I get stopped by cops and everything, saying, "Oh, we got a call saying that you were molesting some kids." And I sit there and I look at them and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, how can that be possible?" And everything. I didn't even, say anything to him. So I basically explained the whole situation to the officers. Obviously I cooperated. I didn't sit there and, go against them. I wasn't going to sit there and, and disobey their orders or whatever. But I told them everything that happened and everything. And the cops goes, "Oh, so you actually tried to tell him to stay away from you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, because I didn't want that heat and everything, I didn't want that to be in that situation. And he goes, "So you actually tried to prevent the situation?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I didn't want anything, I didn't want that, I didn't want anybody thinking that, because I am not that type of person. So the cop, took me home, obviously, and, explained the situation to my family. I won't say who, obviously, but my family, And I get a call about a week later. They call me in to speak to a detective. Obviously, I'm not going to give the names of said people because that's their private names. Apparently, the kids told their mother that they lied about the situation, and I was let go. The cop, the detective basically went over my statement and everything. And I basically told him and everything the same thing that I told the cops and everything, and the same thing I told everybody else. Because that's what happened. And the detective goes, "Well, the cops told the kids rather told the mother, or told their mother and everything, that they lied about the situation and that it never happened." And of course, the detective asked me if I put them up to it and everything, and I said no, because I've been home the whole entire week. Because you guys told me to stay home and not go anywhere. And, of course, the one cop that came to see, that came to investigate the situation, said that and told the detective that and everything. It was like, yeah, he has been home and everything, but he's been outside on the porch and everything almost every day, but he has been home. The next thing I want to address, next situation, I should say. Same thing. I went to a park and everything.
I'm here. He Would you care to explain to gamer what happened with that? Because the kid followed you, right, when you were
The kids followed me on their own. They
Yeah,
They
was it the local was it a local baseball team that the town watches?
yes.
I actually forgot if it was or not. Wait, was it at the? Because you were in high school still, weren't you?
I was well, no, actually, I was in middle school. Well, yeah, no, actually, I was a freshman. I was a freshman,
All right, yeah.
and I sat there and everything, and stuff and everything. Like I say, they they followed me on their own and everything, and I told them to go back up the hill because I didn't want them following me because I knew something was going to happen. I knew that the parents were obviously going to be. I knew that the parents were going to be obviously, wondering what was going on. So I sat there and I'm like, okay, let me go up and let me try to explain what's going on and everything because her kids are following me and everything, on their own and everything. I don't want them following me. I don't want them following me. Because then the parents would automatically think that. You know, I mean that's right. And granted, there again, I don't blame the mother. I really don't. I don't fault her for being worried about her kids.
I mean, I don't think anybody can. I mean,
You know,
in today's age, or the all those years ago. I mean, so many stories happened. Literally, if you watch a lot of crime shit, you see there's a lot of stories with that kind of shit.
yeah. I mean, let's
I
face it,
don't blame
dude.
her for being worried for her kids. At least she was doing something a parent should do. Unlike parents today.
Yeah, and let's face it. I when it comes down to it and everything, it's you know, I'm not going to sit there and and stick around and everything and be accused. I shouldn't be accused for something that I'm not doing, nor would I ever do. I mean that right there is something that annoys me to this day. You know, and it kind of pisses me off and everything in a way. I understand that, like I say, I get it. I understand that that parents are scared that something's going to happen to their kids. I get it. Like I say, when it comes down to it, if I ever have kids, someday and everything, you know, I wouldn't want them to go up to a random stranger. I wouldn't want to go up to them and everything. I wouldn't want to sit there and have them talk to them and be like, oh hey, just go up to a random stranger. Hey guys, how you doing, sir, and everything. You know, for all you know, that person could be a pedophile. God forbid. You know. The other thing, and everything that's kind of annoying is the fact and everything that the mother wanted to sit there and apologize to me and everything and stuff and everything after it happened and everything. It's like, why do you want to apologize and everything to me when you sat there and you believed it the whole entire time? It's kind of ridiculous how you can sit there and accuse somebody and everything and then sit there and want to apologize after almost putting an innocent person in jail who
Yeah.
has no record of that at all.
Yeah, I forgot. Was it a local baseball game, or you meant like like a local team or something like that?
No, yeah, no, it was a local team.
Was it
Local.
was it like how like all teams are, where they like everybody around town talks about it? It was like it was
Yeah, basically. I mean,
oh well. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, people went there every single time. People, whenever there was a baseball game, people went there and they,
So it
you
was like a
know,
town tradition almost for every person in town to go to
yeah.
the game.
So you know how like you go to like like for high school, right? When you go to high school football,
Oh yeah. Okay, so
like
it's
every
like that.
Friday night they have
So
they
the
have
whole
a
town was
football game.
expected to show up for at least the baseball game to at least support the team, I guess.
Uh,
Like football.
hold on, gamer, just to sit there and address one thing. Uh, Super Mario Time. Yes, there is 3 other ones and everything, but there is no other times where cops were called. So you need to get your facts straight.
I mean, actually, the only time I've ever heard you talked about cops was, obviously with
Now,
that.
yes, I have been caught multiple times because the parents didn't know what was going on, and I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it here. I'm going to explain it here. Okay.
I'm still surprised with that story with that dumbass freaking entitled cop.
Yeah.
I like that fucking story because that cop got his ass ringed. That was a great
because the cop knew me and everything. The cop knew me and everything, and how I was.
Yeah, and knew.
And he knew that I would never do something like that. He knew that I'm not, do that. Or do something like that. Like that's.
Yeah, I remember that cop literally wasn't he asking you like where you were going that one time that entitled cop? Actually, yeah. Yeah, weren't you like on your way to like your friends and stuff? I don't remember if you had your bike.
No, I was going to the library actually.
Oh, okay, with the library. I knew you were going. I knew you were going somewhere.
That has something to do with kids and everything, but
no. I'm just saying the only time I know that you've interacted with cops is just when you were just going to your library when you were younger, which were you
stuff knows Larry, then you need to actually listen to the stream and everything, than actually sitting here and everything and not, and not watching it. Open your ears and listen. How about that? So anyway, I had to address that. I'm sorry. Because people apparently don't seem to understand and everything. So, that was it with that and everything. And they, they found out that the kids were lying about the situation and everything, and how am I going to put them up to it and everything when I'm home? I mean, that makes no sense. So, next thing is, I sit there and everything. I go to a park and everything in the next town over. This time I was watching a football game. I'm into football. I like football. Football is actually one of my favorite sports to watch.
Looks like Christopher timed out freaking Super Mario time. I didn't see him comment in the chat. Well, he timed him out though.
I don't know. You can stay in here, gamer. You don't have to leave him,
No, I am. I'm just letting you tell the stories and stuff like that while watching the chat.
Yeah, no, you can. Yeah, just keep your picture in here though, because I want you to hear this too.
I still can hear you even if I do. Even if I do that.
Well, anyway. So, I'm watching a football game, and I guess there was a kid and a father sitting next to me and everything that I was there. And all of a sudden, now you know how kids are, gamer, when kids sit there and everything, they want to, they want to play and everything, they want to, have fun and everything,
Feel like a kid, pretty much, at games.
Yeah.
Some kids just can't just sit down and just watch the damn game.
Yeah, they sit there and they hit you and everything.
Oh yeah, when they're throwing their stupid popcorn shit around, it's like,
yeah,
God, will
you
you just
know, and
watch the
it's
stupid
you
game,
know,
please?
and okay, and let me just clarify something, Richard Slackler. I think I'm saying your name right. It wasn't kids football. It was actually teenagers.
Yeah, wasn't it high school football?
Yeah,
From
it
your
was
high
actually
school?
teenagers. So they're like probably like 16 to like 18 or whatever.
Oh, so pretty much almost like so like at your school, like
Yeah.
anywhere from like the sophomores to maybe the seniors,
Yep.
possibly.
Yeah.
Well, depending on
It
depending
was
on where you
teenagers.
are.
They were all teenagers and everything.
At least, yeah, wasn't it your football team or was it a rival team that your team was fighting? Because I think it was your school that you went to go watch. Because I think you went to all the games for the
Well,
school.
yeah, I went to all the games and everything from my high school, yes, but what had happened was I was actually walking to somewhere and everything. I think I was walking to the store actually.
Probably go get another damn drink.
Yeah, well, soda, and I saw a football game and everything. So I'm like, hey,
Football,
football's one of my favorite sports. I like watching football.
and it's
You
in the
know,
same town, right? The same town still.
no, different town. It was the next
Oh,
town over.
oh, yeah. Weren't you visiting your friend that day? One of your friends? Because I think I remember one of your friends lived the town over. Weren't you visiting a friend? I think you
No,
were.
no. What had happened was and everything. I was just sitting there. I just decided to. I was walking to the park that day and everything. I decided to go to the store and everything to go get a drink and everything. But then I freaking turned around and I saw a football game. So I walked
And you're
over.
like, well, let's go
Hey,
watch
it's
the football.
football. Why not? And no, if you're thinking drink gamer guy, it's not like alcohol or anything. I was buying a soda.
It was during. I think it was. Was it during the summer?
It was during the summer, yeah.
Well, that okay. That
Almost towards the end of summer, actually.
okay. So about the end of July, beginning
Probably
August.
somewhere, yeah, probably towards the end of August, actually, somewhere in that time. And I sat there and everything, and I'm watching a football game, and this kid would not leave me alone.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this and I'm looking at the father, and I'm like,
Can you?
can you tell your kid to stop hitting me because he's.
I'm just trying to sit here and enjoy a nice football game
Yeah, I'm
to
not
see
trying
who
to,
the hell's trying to win, and
yeah,
this kid's distracting me. It's like if you go to like say like a wrestling event, or if you go to an actual football game or something, and the kid's just bugging you, and it's like I'm trying to watch this. Can you do something about your kid, please?
yeah,
I want to
and
enjoy the
then
game.
yeah, and so all of a sudden and everything, I'm watching the football game, and I turn around, and there's a foot in my face,
It's like,
and I'm
oh
like,
yeah, I remember that. I
yeah,
remember
and I
that.
turn and
That damn kid was like, what the fuck?
I turn around, and I'm like, and there again, I'm looking at the father, and I'm like, can you tell your kid to stop?
Like, can you get him off of me, please?
Like,
He's bugging the fuck out of me.
I'm here watching the football game. Like, I like football. I'm sorry, it's like that's all I want to do is watch a football game. That's it.
Well,
And
no, gamer guy, I am. I'm just reacting to it.
it's honestly it's honestly freaking stupid. And things like that and everything. I honestly sat there and everything. Eventually, I got tired of it and I left because it's like, why in the world am I sitting here, dealing with this? I left, went to the store, bought my soda, went home. And then, that was basically the end of that and everything. Cops were never called. I never got reported because the father saw what was happening. And even the father sat there and looked at me and everything. And he goes, I'm sorry that my kid was hitting you and everything like that and everything. He goes, my kid wants to play and everything. He wants to have fun and everything. I'm like, I understand the kid wants to have fun and everything, but he's hit me and everything. He's, hit me in the face and everything and stuff and everything. So, at that moment, I'm just like, come on and everything. So I decided to leave and everything. I'm like, okay, nothing really, the score wasn't really that high and everything. It wasn't a high scoring game and everything. So I decided to leave. Now, this one and this last one, or actually, okay, last two, I should say. The next one that happened was now. So I see you guys in the chat and everything talk about the one with the bathroom. Now, I did not take a kid into the bathroom. What had happened was and everything. Apparently, a friend of mine that I used to know and everything as a kid. We were both kids and everything. This is back when I was like in fourth grade. And this kid apparently told me and everything that his uncle was molesting him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
And
it took every fiber of your being not to kill his freaking uncle, actually.
No, I'm actually going to get to that.
No, I'm just saying it took every fiber of your being not to kill the son of a bitch.
No, I actually ended up doing it. Because I sat there and everything. He told me what his uncle did to him. And I sat there. I told the parents about it. So what had happened was and everything, the uncle apparently took his nephew, i.e. my friend, into the bathroom and everything. And basically did the whole just do as I say and everything and nothing will happen to you. And apparently he smelled, he started smelling his feet and everything. And started playing with his private parts. My friend told me about this and told me to keep it to myself because he didn't want his parents to know about it. And eventually I got tired of it and I said, I got to tell the parents about this because this is something that they need to know. So I went to their house one day and they said, hey, such and such is not here right now and everything. Can you come back another time? And I'm like, well, I actually need to talk to you guys about the situation. And they say, okay, well, what's going on? I said, this is something that your son told me and everything. And apparently, and I'm talking to the dad at this point. And I said, apparently your brother is a pedophile. And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, your son just told me and everything, or your son actually told me a couple of days ago what his uncle did to him. And when I told him what he did and everything, when I told him what he did, he couldn't believe it. He sat there and everything. He talked to his son and everything, and I let him talk to his son. I stood out of it.
I mean, yeah, because anybody can say
that's a parent and a kid situation. Especially when it comes to family. So, chicken game. You could think of however you want to think, bud. You know, facts are facts. But, so anyway, continuing on. He basically sat there and everything, and he ended up sitting there and everything, you know, reporting the uncle and everything as a pedophile for molestation. And he sat there and everything. He went to court. He got put in cuffs. He got taken to jail and everything. And ended up sitting there getting away with it and everything because apparently the courts did not have enough evidence to convict. My friend showed me a picture of, you know.
Oh, hold on. Whoops. This person wants clarification, at least, because he literally, the person just got in here like 3 minutes ago, so he's trying to wrap his head around what the hell you're talking about.
Yes, Desolate AK. I think, did I say that correctly? If I said your name wrong, I apologize. Yes. What had happened was we were kids. Like I said, we were kids. This is going back to the other story. We were kids and everything. And
all of this.
I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old. She was 9. We were wrestling. We were roughhousing. And yes, I'll admit to it. I decided to smell her feet. But that was it. And everything. And, you know, it was just something, you know, we were kids. We were kids. You know, I mean, that's, you know, that's what literally happened in terms of that story. Going back to the other one now. So, they didn't have enough evidence to convict the uncle and everything of molestation. I guess the kid had no bruises on him. My friend had no bruises on him. He had no, you know, things on him or whatever. He gave me a picture and everything. He showed me a picture, rather, of his uncle. And I basically sat there. I'm gonna get to that, Chicken Gamer. I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna address that. Well, first off, hey, welcome, Christopher. But I wanted to clear things up and everything because I'm tired of people sitting here acting like I'm this bad guy and everything when I'm not.
Well, no, I think I understand. People are thinking these stories happened in the present. Every story he's ever told happened when he was 9 to about 17.
Yes. So,
and most of them were either friends or just people that I guess just has been around. Most of them are just his friends.
So a couple of days later, after he was let off, unfortunately, Sub knows and everything. It's unfortunate that I did. You know, I mean, each time I'm just trying to mind my own business. You know, I literally sat there and everything. I'm just trying to mind my own business, be my own person, and just, you know, watch sports and everything and have fun. But it's apparent that I wasn't able to do that and everything because of these situations. I stopped going to baseball games after this. I stopped going to football games after this. Because of these situations, because I didn't want to get accused no more. You know, so
go back to the stories have been told. They've been told numerous times. You can't find the video.
Yeah. To go back to the other situation though, I basically ended up seeing the uncle No, they're two separate. They're two separate stories.
No, the one that he was talking about when he was 9, that's a different one.
Yeah.
The one with the bathroom was with one of his friends, where his uncle was doing that, and he ended up telling his friend's parents about it.
Yeah, they're two separate stories. It's just you're getting them mixed up and everything because of how I'm saying them and everything. It's and I apologize for that.
Just that one time, I think, actually, wasn't it? Just that
in
one.
in terms of police gamer guy, it was only one time. I've already been reported one time.
Yeah, it was just that one time when
That's
the kid.
that's because the mother was protecting her kids, rightfully so.
I don't
There
blame
again,
him. I don't blame
there
any
again,
parents that does that.
I don't fault her for that. I'm not saying I fault her for it. I don't fault her for it at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not faulting her for it whatsoever. Not faulting her for it whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? That's that's all there is to that. Now, the other time when I went to the football game, that kid would just not leave me alone. He kept on hitting me and everything, and mind you, I'm looking at the father and I'm like, come on. No, Fargo, no. My friend told me that his uncle was being inappropriate to him, and which I'm about to get into here now. I basically met the uncle. I saw the picture. I had to picture him, and stuff and everything. And I basically sat there and I saw him, and I recognized him and everything. And I'm like, you're the one that sat there and molested my friend. And he goes, I was cleared of those charges and everything. I said, yeah, because you had no evidence on you. There was no evidence on you to put your ass in jail. And he had a gun. And I basically sat there. He pulled it out on me. I turned it on him. The gun went off. Killed him. I left the scene and everything because, I didn't know, I couldn't believe what I did. And it's a situation that I regret to this day. Yes, I killed a pedophile, but at the same time, I killed somebody. It's something that I regret to this day.
Then again, did he have the safety off?
Yes, he did.
That dumbass.
Because he was going to shoot me.
I see. Yeah.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that now, gamer guy. So what had happened was I went fishing with my family. And I was fishing and everything, and apparently this kid was next to me and everything. Now, this one, I will admit to and everything that I made a mistake. This one, I will admit to that I made a mistake on. At that time, I was looking for YouTube business partners. And we were, me and him were talking. Me and this kid were talking. And I told him that I had a YouTube channel and everything. He told me he had a YouTube channel. I don't remember his YouTube channel offhand and everything. It was a long time ago, so
It's been years, and who knows?
Yeah.
He could have changed about 5 to 6 times already.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
So I made the mistake of asking him if he would like to be my YouTube business partner. Of course, I asked him how old he was and everything because I didn't want to get caught with that heat, i.e., being called what I'm being called now.
It's like in the early days of YouTube, isn't it? Like, what year would you say?
This was probably back in 2000. Well, it was a year after COVID.
Started?
It was a year after
before?
COVID. It was like 2021.
2020?
2021. No, a year after COVID. COVID started in 2020. This happened in 2021.
I don't know.
And he told me how old he was and everything, and that he was 17 years old. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. That means he's a kid. I get it. I will admit I made a mistake there. I made a mistake there and everything. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat and say I didn't. I made a mistake there. So, granted, what I should have done was, at that time, I should have talked to the parents first instead of talking to him. But I didn't. That was bad on my part. Now I'm 29. Back in 2021, I was, let's see, that would be 26. Yeah, like I said, I made a mistake there. That was bad of me. That was bad on my part.
Big YouTubers or so, or people started partnering up with everybody?
Pretty much so, yes.
I mean, everybody thought of partnering up with everybody at some point. Even and age didn't actually matter in most times.
But yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, no, literally, the mistake I made was what I should have done.
I mean, Super, I'm not going to say that you weren't wrong for asking a 17-year-old, but if a 17-year-old can go to watch a rated R movie or buy a fucking game that's rated M that has adult shit, I mean, considering it says mature on it, like, what is the maturity? 18's not mature, 19's not mature, 20 isn't even mature, and you're an adult. You have to be 21 before they consider you to buy anything adult related.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but
what's mature and what's an adult?
There again, dude, I still should have used common sense at that moment.
Gamer guy, stop asking me that. I'm not worried about that. I'm like him. I'm not worried about how people look at me. Really.
I
mean, come on, Jay and them like me the way I am.
The kid at the pond ended up being 13.
And that was when you were younger.
Yeah, that's
actually one was still actually when you were younger. So yeah, most of his stories are when he was in his young years.
Yeah, I was 26 at the time, and like I say, that's the mistake I made, was asking, a kid to be a YouTube business partner. So
back in 2020,
that I will own up to.